it if I want it. Gotta make to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now we ain't getting posterized, we out here making posters, and we ain't got nothing to hide.
What is up? And welcome back into Pregaming here on Sports Money. You know what time it is, 6 p.m. We roll every Monday through Friday, trying to give you guys all that last-minute information. Injury reports, trends, cash flow splits, all the angles, all the analysis to help you guys come up with winning tickets, or at least making informed betting decisions. And look, middling day again yesterday, so it just feels like we're getting that much closer to the big bang. And hopefully it's tonight. Tighten up the card a little bit. 3 hockey games. I think this is a first. There's a first in the NHL that I'll have ever given out, I think, on any show. And I think it makes a lot of sense. So we'll see what happens there. We've got two college basketball games. We've got 2 games in Maction tonight. Of course, the slop that is the Battle of the Great Lakes in Maction takes off again tonight, and can't be as bad as last night's games, right? There's no way. And then 2 games in the NBA, plus a prop play in the NBA to get us to glory. And glory, it will be this Saturday. I hope you guys are ready to go. I did see our guy Keith message me this morning. He's going to be there with us on Saturday. So we're starting to build a team. There's going to be me in a bathroom with a cup of coffee and a real sour look on my face. Now, we got Sub, we got Keith. Who knows? Who knows? There's a rumor Ramon might stop in there for a little bit as well. Who knows? It's going to be a lot of fun. It's super early, and that means we get to work tonight. We get ready to record First Strike. I already see the fellas are sending their plays in, getting ready to go. I've got to finalize mine, and then we'll shoot that and have the video out there. As you guys know the deal here, probably around 10 p.m. or as close to it as we can get to give you guys 4 early looks to cook the books when it comes to that UFC stream. Saturday morning, 3 a.m., and we're leading into Ramon's show. So we will be the lead-in to the morning steam, which I can't believe I ever thought I would say that. Yet here we are. So let's go. Let's have a big night tonight. Let's get it started. Nothing more fun than cashing tickets together with you guys, celebrating our victories, and planning. Always planning on trying to find that next winning ticket. So that's exactly what we're going to do tonight. We got a lot to do. Never enough time to do it, but it's that point in the show where we need your participation. Need you guys to help us here. We need to crack this thing. Got to keep letting YouTube know we're here doing it. And that comes by way of the thumbs up. Now, we didn't get to the goal yesterday. I told you guys at 100 thumbs up, I will give away some merch on the weekend. We got some proof stuff being produced here, and I've got a couple extra things. I got my hands on a few extra things, so we'll see what happens. If we can get over 100 likes this week on any of these shows, we will give some merch away on the weekend. That's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm just looking at one last thing here before I get moving. Let's see. Yeah, they're catching on. That's okay. We'll still hammer them. It's still in the realm of good business. I hope you guys are ready for some good business tonight. Kind of a strange little card out there. I'm not sure where the highlight of my focus point is going to be. Probably the NBA. I don't know if that's true. There's some NHL action on. I don't know. It's a tough trick. It's a tough trick to ask. But I know this. I know the boys are fired up. I know we got our guy Gonzo. Big 2-in-1 day yesterday to start his sports money gambling career. And not his career to gambling, but his first 3 plays officially posted on Sports Money. 2-1. Now he's a little bitter about that Tampa Bay game. I was too. I was definitely not excited about that. But hey, next two easy peasy. And it was all good. So good work. Another one posted out there tonight. Small card. He's tightened it up. The model has found another spot to hammer. Speaking of hammering last night, how did we do? Let's see. We got the Edmonton over 6.5 at plus 108. It looked like it was never in doubt. Then it looked like it was in doubt. And then it came through and they got a winner for us. Nice little plus 108 spot. Then we lost at Tampa in regulation. We were in alignment with our guy Gonzo at minus 105. Rangers came back and smashed at the end of the night to cook the books. Then we had, so we got what? A 2-in-1 day in NHL. 1-in-2 day in college basketball. Georgia doubled up on them boys. Told you, Alabama A&M, they were there to get the paycheck, and so were we. Georgia laying 26.5 at minus 104. Goes out there, I think they won by 47 points. They doubled up. Alabama A&M, agriculture and machining, as we come to find out from this show. It's an educational program as well. They put up 45 points. They got busted up. DePaul, disappointing. They won by 9. You kind of could see like they couldn't get their footing early, and that was definitely problematic. And then Purdue, what a letdown. Purdue was in the fight in the first half, and they got busted up in that second half to blow it out there. Let's see. College football, NIU stinks. That is for sure. And then the NBA, disappointing. How about Boston? Leading the entire game. Cleveland just wouldn't die. Dagger at the end of the game, minus 6 is an L. The Nets first half. Nets win the full game, but they got down. They were down like 25 points in the first quarter. They just couldn't recover. And because they were in recover and battle mode, our under didn't cash. We did cash the under in New Orleans, 223.5. But sadly not New Orleans at plus 13. So, I mean, look, it's not a day in the black. So we got to get it back, and that's what we do just right now. Take the time, close the comments, hit the thumbs up button, pop the comments back open, and we'll get the show on the road. Big night tonight. Sometimes I get talking and forget to hit the button, and I think that's exactly what happened. But get your pens and paper out. You know it's that time of the night. We're going to run down the chat. It's the sharpest chat in the business. They've been marinating on the card all day, and they all come in here with the same goal. Positive vibes, positive movement, positive work on the bookie's pocket. That's exactly what we want to do here. So make sure you guys write these plays down. And make sure you put your plays in the chat. We'll keep a brisk pace today. I'm going to keep this thing moving for us because I got to get into this UFC, and we're getting there. Look. The week starts for me. I mean, you know, we roll on Monday and Tuesday, but this is where things really start getting busy. Things going on all afternoon and all evening. Tomorrow, we'll have an NFL live stream as well. So we'll be going all afternoon and then all evening. We've got the Steelers and the Browns. Interesting note, Mike Tomlin. I believe he's never won. I believe he's never covered. Not sure about winning on Thursday Night Football. Then we got Friday rolls into... I got to figure out when I'm going to sleep. And then Saturday we pop up. I don't know. We'll probably go on at, let me see. What time does it say that they will first start to tear faces off? Oh, 3:15. Oh, that's a blessing. 3:15, barring any cancellations. So we'll start right at 3. Look, we're going to give you pregame analysis, pre-fight analysis as we go on that one. It won't be the full 30-40 minute start before the card, but 3 a.m. will be sufficient. So anyways, it gets busy, it gets moving, and he's always moving. Joe T, the first commenter of the day. Joe T, I told you, don't want to count on them fucking Flyers to score goals. I still think about that one. Sabres and Kings. What made me think about that is I always hate counting on the Sabres to score goals. But I like the over 5.5 in that one. Nice little low number tonight. The your under play of the day from Joe T. The war, the assault, the attack on the unders remains running strong. Shout out to Jay Stone 9. Redbeard's in the house. It's over 6 for plus 220. Eichel, 5+ shots on goal at plus 185. You're wild, man. You're wild, man. Shout out to Redbeard, Old E in the house. And Jay Stone says, Prep, this on your correlated parlay play of the day. Dallas and Calabrini point plus 240. Hey, I don't like the correlated spots. You know, the odds are better when you're not correlated out there. I'm down. Fire off the under 6 in that thing too, or 6.5. It's Dallas. You guys know what happens out there in Dallas. These games go under. Shout out to NJ Striker. Barry Roselle says sports money is money. There's Gonzo with the Kings -1 tonight in that Sabres game. So the boys have double dipped. Here's the double dip. There's the double dip graphic when you need it. Alfred! We need the double dip graphic. Come on. Let's go. Yeah, Barry said, I wish I took Tampa full instead of 60 minutes. Therein lies the -1, Barry. Right? At least if you get to overtime and you put, I mean, we were lucky you deserve the push in that game if you took the -1, right? They were down the whole game, 2-0. They battled back. How about point? Specifically referenced. It seems like every time I mention a player, they do go off and point comes back and he's ready to go. Nasty Nate says Celtics first quarter. And like Celtics second quarter. Cashed money. Sadly, what about the other spots? What about the full game? Fuckers. Got me on that one. There's Keith. He'll be on the UFC live stream. He says he's not fucking leaving. Let's go. Celtics for, if you guys don't watch the Saturday show, you don't know what you're missing out on. You don't know. We got all kinds of clips out there. Shout out. He's got Peyton Pritchard points. Look at Nasty Nate. Got everything but the full game, it looks like, with them Boston Celtics. Makes sense. That's why it's so devastating, because they were dominating those boys from the top. Yeah. Cleveland. Dana Delp says Ohio money line. There's my dude Justin McKelvey says sports money is money. Robert McCormick in the house. Dana Delp says should be a rainy night for football. It is. It's an under night. We'll talk about specifics. We'll get to it. Shout out to Trisha M in the house. Says, hey, Barry Roselle says, hit the thumbs up button. Please do so. Googly-eyed ring girl in the house. On the blue shirt. Thank you. So complimentary. Appreciate you, googly-eyed UFC ring girl. Thank you much for coming in and hanging out with us. Shout out to J Stone 9. Got them hockey sticks laid out. Old E says, Justin McKelvey, I'm hammering college football lines. Pretty tough ticket. Love fading TCU. I'm trying to find an in on the Arizona game. Maybe a team total over. Shout out to Sancho in the house. It's good to see Sancho. Let's go subhuman. Gaucho's coming in here. He's giving you Canes team total over 3.5. Marty Nexus. Anytime goal scorer plus 290 with the boost. I did a parlay with Marty. I did a Marty parlay. Let's see, who was the other leg of that Marty parlay? I figured, you know what? It's been going so well in the NFL. Why not try to get a shot at 2 goal scorers in the NHL? The models are still the same. Well, they're not the same. Obviously, difference between football and hockey, but they're still there. We still got them. Still got all the data. Stop being lazy. Start putting them together. And I did tonight. So I do have Marty. Come on, load up. Piece of junk. Load up. All right, let's see. Marty was the first leg. Thomas Hurdle is the second leg. It's plus 704. That's in that Vegas game. Vegas and Toronto. Thomas Hurdle is a plus 235. Natural plus 235. Like to see that sub. Thank you for sharing. Let's go. Jay Peasy in the house. Shout out to Oldie. Trisha M says UFC Saturday AM. Sounds like Peruvian jet fuel is required. It's going to be a tough one. I'm not sure if this is true. Is that true? Googly-eyed UFC ring girl. JPZ's done betting the NBA. Jugglers not getting in front of the fast-moving train called Ohio University. The old Bobcats game opened at 2.5 last night. Bought it up to 3. 5-star NCAA football play of the day. That should be a hammer spot. I just saw Juggler 23 got some hoops action. Alabama -8, and that's what made me laugh. Ramon Scott says, my name is Sub. Let's go. Let's go, T-Moss. Says lots of people in here I saw earlier today. Hell yeah. This is the 1-2 punch between the morning steam and pre-gaming to give you guys all that action, all that information you need. Let's go. Let's get to work. Ricky Levine says, pimp slap. What's cracking? I'm ready to go. What's cracking here? Old E says, Ramon, did our four-legger hit? Markel says, morning. Stern Company says, Hungry Sharks sending it to OT. Let's start with this Toronto game. Huh? Shall we? Shall we get to business and talk about some puck? We might as well. We've been here. We've been doing this thing. And look, bad spot for Toronto, or bad spot for Vegas. Plain and simply put. All the numbers, all the trends, all the analytics, everything is showing this be a opportunity to take advantage of a low number. Whoops, where'd we go here? Let me get this thing going. Let's go. We're beeping, but we're not creeping here. Joseph Wall, Aiden Hill. First glance, of course, it's Joseph Wall. 3-2, but how about 2.39 goals against average and a 90.2% save percentage? They won 5 of the 6 with this kid. 5 of their last 6, I should say. Flip side. Vegas. Aiden over the hill. he's not that old. 28 years old, but starting to get up there. You know, goaltender years are like dog years. For every one, there's 7. You know, these guys taking the abuse that they take on a regular basis. Skates on the ice the entire time. And right now, the big news here, the big story was Vegas Golden Knights lose to Washington. This begins their first of 3 games, so they were at home. But where I mentioned the bad scheduling spot is, first of all, Vegas is terrible on the road, right? We'll talk about these numbers in just a minute. But they had a 2-game road trip. They split them. They come back home against Carolina, take the L. Put the keys back in the bus, go on the road for 2 games against Utah and Anaheim to pick up some wins. And they come back home and they take the L. It's the distance of travel that concerns me for this Vegas team that's inside of there. You got your Pacific Northwest little challenge out there, but now back-to-back coming up as well. You've got Ottawa. They're going to have 3 games in 4 nights. I like them against Montreal. That 3rd game in 4 nights, for some reason, works out very well for the NHL. But I think this Toronto spot's just a bad opportunity for them out there. You know, when you look at kind of what's going on overall, you start talking about some of these numbers. Look, Vegas in the road favorite role is a bad spot to be. They're off a loss. They're just 13-15. They're 7-21 on the puck line. So they're tight games. And you're going to give me the home team in Toronto in a bad situation with a lot of road testing for this Golden Knights team? You know, got the home team playing a quality opponent early in the season. Quality opponent defined as 51% or more in winning. So the home team comes ready to play early in the season. Huge sample. Call it 1,070 games to 700. It's over a 30% edge on a team in Toronto who doesn't have the difficulty of that travel. Now, would I feel better if I, saw some Austin Matthews in there? Sure. But you know my feeling. I've been saying this from get-go, from day one here not day one, but maybe 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. We're not seeing enough shots out of these guys. They're just not firing the puck enough. And when you got a guy that you're coming into the goal with here in Wall, he's solid. And you got a team that's running hot in Toronto. take this Toronto even money opportunity and don't think twice about it. This is going to be a good way for us to open the NHL card up, get us paid. Huge numbers, 30-some-odd% edge. Speaking to the home team, and you're going to give me an even money against a team that stinks on the road? Oh, yeah. What are we talking about here? What are we doing here? It's enough. It's enough to get us started here. What do you guys think about that? What say you? Stir and Company says, Hungry Sharks sending it to OT. Winner circle. Oh, no. Ramon says, we had Nets minus 1.5, but they won by 1. Damn. That sucks. I hate when that happens. But I don't hate when I see a situation where we've got the Dallas Stars at home against the San Jose Sharks. What do we know that just happened, right? Minus 420, was it? Minus 450 was that Dallas Stars team in the last game. Difficult spot. And we were on the under. We talked about the under for Anaheim. I didn't put these in, sorry. But now what do we have going on from a goaltending perspective? Well, they're going back to Ottinger. He took the they took the L against the Ducks without Ottinger. But he's coming back in and he's rested. 2.27 goals against, 91.7% save percentage. Through 12 games, he's 9-3. Has improved his numbers. 91.7% save percentage has gone up to 94.2% in his last 3 games, and he's 3-0 in that stretch. Started strong, getting stronger. Team's in a bounce-back spot. They lose to the Sharks. I'm sorry. I'm just reading. They lost to the Ducks. Excuse me. Ducks, Sharks. Who fucking cares? Bad teams in the Pacific is what that is. And it was just a month ago that they played the San Jose team. It was a tight game. I think what happens is some of these teams are just so bad that you don't even bring your A game, right? I mean, it's classic adage here. You're kind of playing down to the competition. And on the other side of things with the San Jose Sharks, their big acquisition, Mackenzie Blackwood going back in goal. This guy's going to need some fucking help. He's got a 4-5-3 record. He's got a 3.06 goals against average and a 90.8% save percentage. I kind of look at the goals against average to me. I don't know if I'm sometimes, I guess it depends on the number. I guess it's situational and self-serving. Like you want to see a 2.44, 93%, right? That's like consistent. They're keeping them under the league average around 2.8 goals a game, keeping them under 2.5. When you look at a guy like Mackenzie Blackwood, yeah, he came out of New Jersey. Big acquisition. They brought this guy in and, I don't know. They're struggling. They're trying to get their grip right now. Askarov is going to back him up. This is the guy they call up from the minors. They're lost right now. They don't know what the hell they're doing. But they're going to go back to Blackwood, second game in a row. And I don't know how much you need to get involved with this one here, right? We got, I'll tell you the one spot, the one opportunity, if any, that jumped out for the Sharks. They got their next game at St. Louis. What that means is we've got a big trend where these teams have won. I just don't see how Dallas loses a back-to-back spot. I don't. Could it happen? Sure. Could it happen to the likes of the Ducks and then the Sharks? No. No. I can't see it. My mind won't accept that. But it's not how I want to attack this game. We talk about the goaltending, and the big thing for me is first and foremost, we're in Dallas. We're in the Big D. What do we know about the Big D? It's the Big U. They love their unders out there. Teams off a home win as a dog and now have a total pegged at 6.5. Well, who is that? You might ask. San Jose against Detroit. 5-4 win. The Sharks beat Detroit. Teams off a home win as a dog and a total of 6.5. 25-7 to the under. A perfect 25-7 to the under. Now, playing devil's advocate, if you do think there's any chance in hell that the Stars lose twice in a row to the Ducks and then the Sharks, those teams are just 9-23 straight up. They are 22-10 on the puck line. Suggest a tighter scoring game. Could overtime be in play? I saw that comment in the chat, and I think it could. We know Dallas last year was a huge under and an overtime spectacle. They just couldn't finish teams off. Home favorites, when both have a day's rest and you're sitting on a 6.5, are 16-6. So the 6.5 in some of these trends that, I've noticed they've kind of been stretching out a little bit more to the 6.5s, kind of just speaks to being an average game. When you start seeing 6s and 5.5s, either there's players out of the lineup or you've got spectacular goaltending and defense coming in there. So you kind of pull those out of the sample so that you can kind of get a more pure number to see when it's specifically at 6. Just an average run-of-the-mill game. What do we see? And then we see the under. We see the home team and we see the under. I chose to take Dallas to score first. This is the first I've ever given one of these plays out. It was minus 125, so reasonably priced opportunity. They've scored first in 6 of 9 home games this year. And the Sharks have only scored first on the road 3 of 11 times. So you got 6 of 9 in favor of Dallas. You got 3 and 11 against San Jose. They just took that disgusting L. You got Ottinger out there in circumstances with the best goaltending for Dallas and probably one of the best top 3 in the NHL. And you got Blackwood, who's struggling to stop a beach ball. And it's minus 125. It's a glorious price. First time I've ever given a play out like that. I think it makes a lot of sense. I think it's a great way for us to cash in. The under 6.5 is plus money. So Dallas to score first. Doesn't matter what period. I didn't get into the periods. Dallas scores first. Give me Dallas score first at minus 125. Give me Dallas under 6.5 at plus money. Curious what you got, or even money anyways. Curious if anybody plays those kind of spots out there. Seems like it's a little bit of a gamble when you're trying to decide who's going to score first. But look, Anaheim just kind of beat the brakes off them early. 2 goals in a row before they even started to wake up on that ice. And I don't think they let that happen here, especially knowing that they've got a nice little road trip coming up as well. When you look at Dallas's next couple stretches here, they roll out to Tampa Bay and Carolina. So get ready. The level of play is going to step up, and they might as well start it tonight. That's how we're going to go with this particular game. And then we're going to move on. Move on to the last spot in the NHL. And this one's going to be a little juicy. Let's see what the juice is doing right now. Is the juice loose? Look, sometimes you just got to bite the proverbial bullet. And that's what we're going to do here. We got Nashville. We got Seattle. The Kraken open up as plus 110. Now a plus 120. Money coming in. The line is moving towards Nashville. And I think it makes sense. Seattle started the season off high. And then they kind of went through a little tear where they sucked. And then they started beating teams up again. Now, it's not anoint them playoff deserving teams at this point. They did get shut out in a loss at home to the Rangers. They have had an unbelievably long home stretch. I think we talked about it being, 14 days they were going to be at home straight? And they made the most of it. They did beat Vegas 4-3. They did beat Columbus 5-2. They did beat Chicago 3-1. Okay. They did beat the Islanders 3-2. And then they take that loss. On the flip side, shit scheduling spot because you got the Predators with 4 straight road games. Now, we did catch the Predators in that win against Vancouver. They were a minus 122. Remember we talked about how weird does that number look? What a strange looking number on this thing. And we took it. And we took the Predators, even though they had 3 straight losses. Now on their 4 straight road games going on to their 5th. But when you look at, all is right in scheduling land because what's Nashville got coming up? Well, they're on their way back home. Just a quick stop to play Winnipeg, but it's on their way over to New Jersey. So this will be the last game on the road for that torrid stretch. And it was a torrid stretch. I mean, they had, 7 of their last 8 on the road? Crazy. But we know. The owners in Nashville literally are talking about, should we pull the plug on this thing? They made huge acquisitions in the offseason. They get Marcia Schultz from Vegas. They get Stamkos from Tampa. They had Roman Josi out there from a defenseman extraordinaire. What the hell's going on with this team? Why can't they figure it out? They got a Forsberg. It's a tough spot. I was just looking at the stripes on the screen. Turn my eyes a little bit. Then we look at Seattle. I mean, somehow this team's found a way to be 9-1 on the season. They're about to start a nice little road trip as well. It's not going to be as long a haul. They'll go down to LA and then Anaheim. So this will be their last home game. They had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a row. This is 6. Unusual scheduling spot. But, we can keep this one pretty short and sweet. Right to the point. It looks like the Cord's going to be likely. I mean, this is probably going to be their best goaltenders on both sides of things here. And now the question is Seattle a team that deserves to be on a 4-game winning streak and then bounce back after that loss? Continue to find their winning ways? Or is this lost in the wilderness Nashville team trying to finish this road trip in a miserable position but catch a W before they finish off and move back home? I think that's the case. And we have the classic situation. The absolute, let me look at something real quick here too. Let me look at something right here. Yep. All right. It's the revenge spot. You lost to a team at home. Now you play them on the road as a favorite. That was the number 1 cashing rate for us last year. 497 wins, 246 losses. Easily a 2-1 opportunity. And we're not going to mess with it. We'll take this Nashville team. Looks like these odds have moved. So 139 is the best number you can find now. I see 140s, 142s. I think it was minus 120 earlier today. Now, for what it's worth, since this line has moved, some of these systems will not be active any longer. However, this is one to write down. When the Kraken are between the 115s, they are 0-19. So what does that mean? When they're a dog of 115 or less, or they're a favorite up to a minus 115. In that window where they fucking sat all day today. 0-19. They can't win. Kraken in a home dog, off and under. Now, this is the revenge angle, but specific to the Kraken. What do they do against a team that's seeking revenge? Well, they suck. They're 0-5. They're 0-5. They're 1-4 on the puck line. They're getting busted up by 2.25 goals a game, and they're staying under. 5.5 is crazy, and that's one of those low numbers for a reason type of situations. Why? In this case, it's because we're seeing that teams in Seattle's position are not cashing their team total, and you can catch that team total at under 2.5 at minus 110. I think it's reasonable price tag to jump in here and take Nashville. If you want to try to get cute with Nashville and the under, the Nashville puck line, why not? I mean, that should very much be in play as well. Right now, you look at this thing again with that margin being over 2 goals a spot. You can catch a plus 184 on the puck line right now for Nashville. It's a bad spot. I think Seattle gets busted up in this one here. I'm not going to mess around, though. I'm just going to get in there. I'll lay the extra juice in this spot. We've got, reasonable plot. We got an even money spot in Toronto. We've got a plus 100 even money spot on the under in Dallas. We got Dallas scores first at minus 125, and then we've got Nashville. It's good enough for me. Good enough to move on to some college hoops. Now, I don't have a ton of college basketball action. I've been trying to take it slow here. I'm just trying to get a groove. Can't get the groove. Trying to. But we'll open up. Why not? Let's pop off. We'll talk about this first game here. Do I want to add this one? No. First game I'm looking at is a little, where is it? I forgot to put the bookmarks in, so, or the placeholders, if you will. So the banners is what I was trying to say. Sorry. Trying to read, talk, type, write, everything all at the same time, and it wasn't coming out. So that was a little bit of a brain fartery, I guess. But I'm going to take a look here. And I'm going to take a whole bunch of points. I told you guys there's spots where sometimes we want to consider laying the lumber. And, early in the season, specifically against divisional games or non-conference teams, yeah, those are spots. Coppin State and George Mason starts at 7 p.m. This is not one of those spots where we're going to lay the lumber. You got a 0-6 Coppin State team. They're no good. There's no question about it. But George Mason is 2-3. It's not like they're lighting the world on fire. And now you're asking them to cover a tall task. Clearly, respectfully, they're 1-3 in their last 4 games. So they started off when they played the pincushions of the Division II programs. They stomped them. They were a 3-point favorite against East Carolina. They lost 78-77 outright. Now, that was at East Carolina, but you can learn a lot from that one there because the books were saying that they're that good that they're going to go into somebody else's barn, lay 3 points, and then they end up getting snuck. That was a minus 162 money line on that spot. They also lost to Central Michigan, 70-69. They were 14.5-point favorites in that spot. So they're not covering against shitbag schools where they're laying 15s and 16s. Now all of a sudden, this number changes, 27.5. They're going to go out there and cover it. Coppin State's had a road schedule. This will be their 5th road game and 6th to start the season off. Things you don't necessarily want to see, but bounce back. Word of the week, bounce back. Early season road dogs after getting blown out. Blown out as defined by 30 or more points. This one just snuck in the back door. 93-63 was the final. It was 30 points. It triggered this thing for us. Early season road dogs take the points. 55-19. They're currently on a 7-game winning streak. We'll take the points with Coppin State. 27.5. Minus 106 as well. So we got some low juice when it comes down to it. And I think that makes a lot of sense. I like that situation where we're taking a team that can't cover big numbers against a team that should bounce back historically across college hoops. They bounce back very well, and we'll bounce back with these guys here. Let's go. Let's see what you guys have to say. Shout out to Old E. What's he saying out there? I wish I had enough time to cap the college football and NHL. The ice has such low ref interference. The math is honest as it gets. No strike zone. It's clean, and he's donating $10 to gift and bless our action. I love it. Shout out to you, Old E, my guy. We'll cap it for you. We'll get it right. That's why we start with hockey. Get that one in there, out of the way, and on its way. And I'm going to look at this Bama matchup. Bama and Illinois. Now, there's no cash flow splits. It's down right now on Action. But what do we know about these two teams? Well, we know a team in the Illinois, young. They've got size. They play defense for sure, but I don't think this game's got track meet written all over it, personally. I think this is one of those defense goes out the window. Alabama's not going to play any defense. And Alabama's going to do what Alabama does. They're going to chuck threes. They're going to chuck threes at one of the highest rates in college basketball. Now, overall, I mentioned, it's, I can't even say this dude's name. Is it Dragibbs Lawhorn? Watch this guy potentially have himself a night. And if they do, that'll be interesting because he is the young guy that's coming back. So he's a sophomore, but they're just a heavy freshman team. And this is one of those spots where you got to learn. You got to take a lump before you learn. And can Illinois go out there and compete in the Big Ten? They should. Will Purdue continue to stomp the shit out of everybody all along the way? Probably not. Probably like a Penn State type of season. But I almost gave you guys Penn State. That was the other one that I was looking at in this spot. But I think there's points scored aplenty in this one. And I think it's just going to be a challenge. You've got experience, confidence, and a team that's playing, little Birmingham, Alabama, more or less home turf for these guys. And I think that's going to be just too much. That experience, that connectivity between this team is why I'm going to lay the 8 points. The line starting off where it did tells you everything you need to know. It was 4.5. They were saying that Bama's a good favorite, and it swelled to 8. Now there's 8.5s out there. Yeah, I think this is going to feel like we saw last night. This is almost the same line comparison, the same line narratives to that what was that Marquette game last night, right? So yeah, that's very similar in look and feel to these two, and that's how I think it goes down. This is just too many points for this is too much. The books are telling you it's too many points for Illinois to overcome. And schedule doesn't get any easier for Bama as they get rolling. So they play a Purdue, they lose on the road to Purdue, 87-78, getting a 4. You know what that means. It means we're buying low. One of the best teams in the SEC. Then they go on and they play Houston and then Rutgers. So big scheduling spots. These guys got to lock the fuck in. I like the first half because of that situation as well. They got to get their shit together. I'm not going to go into the first half, though, specifically because I just give me the full stretch of the game because just like we talked about before with, what's his name there? Young players make mistakes at the end of the game. They'll draw stupid fouls. The lights get bright. Let's give them the entire game to fuck up and make a mistake, and then we'll exploit it and take advantage of it. So that's how we're going to go. That's it for college hoops. Just 2 little spots for you guys there that, I don't know, some of you guys like it more than others, and I do. I like watching the college game particularly. And so, we'll take advantage. We'll take a shot here. I got to put these banners in as we go because I didn't do it. My fault. Let's talk some action. Let's get into the Maction games. We got 2 spots here, 2 7:00 spots. Ohio Toledo line opened up at 2.5 for Ohio, getting 2.5 for Road Dog Ohio. Moved down to plus 1.5 with 72% of the bets and 83% of the cash. Then we see a total that is dropping. It's gone down from 50.5 to 46.5. And I like that total. I like the under in this game. But what I did is I teased it. I took Ohio, the classic teaser that we've been so successful with in this one. And I put it together with the under 52.5 for a little tease action in this Ohio game. The thought process here is these 2 teams are run-oriented. We talked about the weather. It's cold. It's windy. The wind is more of the factor than the rain, especially if these guys are going to try to throw the ball down the field. But overall, you look at these 2 teams and their makeup here. The problem Toledo's going to have is they got to run the ball, and that's what Ohio does really well on defense. They're a top 35 run defense. They're also a top 35 run offense. It stays on the ground. They're not going to take chances through the air. They're not going to fuck around with this thing. And, ultimately, what are we going to get out of Toledo? They're variable. Now, there was talk about Toledo being the team that's going to go out there and try to run shop, but they won 37-10 against Central Michigan. They snuck out at Eastern Michigan, and they lost to that Bowling Green spot at home where they were a 2-point favorite. Now, the reason I tease this together is because, Ohio's on a nice little 3-game win streak of themselves, but look, they beat Buffalo, they beat Kent State, and they beat Eastern Michigan. I'm not willing to crown them champions. The Central Michigan spot there, they won at Central Michigan 27-25. Now, granted, you could say Toledo was playing Central Michigan at home and Ohio was taking them in on the road, but watching that game, watching the highlights of that game back as well to kind of refresh my memory out there, they were laying 14.5. They stopped those guys from start to finish. It was just a matter of keeping the ball on the ground, and that works out well for Ohio. Also, you look at Toledo, and they've allowed over 180 rushing yards in 3 of their last 5 games. So there's no reason this ball goes to the air. Why take the chance? Why take the risk? And you're giving me over a touchdown. We're over that key number in the Ohio spot. So that's good enough to pop that game off for us. And then I looked at this Buffalo game, and I can't get on Buffalo's side here. Can't do it. Won't do it. Let me fix this here. Fix that there. But what I did jump involved with here is the under. Another sexy under. This one does have some weather as well. I mean, look, it's the Great Lakes. They're all within 100 miles of each playing surface out there. And as much as both these teams struggle on defense, or Buffalo particularly struggles on defense, they're just so bad, right? They're just so bad. Look, there's no way to dress this one up. This is just a big trend across college football. Write this one down. Remember this opportunity. When you see a team that's gone over 5 straight times, that next game goes under. Yeah, that's a thing. 48-119. 48-119. 5 straight overs, then you take it under. You got wind, you got shit teams. Now, Do the defenses hold up to the challenge is the question. Eastern Michigan's gone under in 2 of their last 3. They've been pegged around that 52 spot. Even when they go over, it's not by a full touchdown. It's this number that's been inflated because if you look at Buffalo's totals, 44.5, 49.5, 46.5, 48.5, 55.5, now they're setting this one right at that 53.5. It's good enough for me. Buffalo stinks, by the way. They absolutely stink on the road. Let me not dismiss that opportunity to talk about that. They're 16-106 in the road dog roll. It's terrible. It's absolutely a fade Buffalo spot. I don't know. Can I get there? Can I pull the trigger on them? I don't need to. I'm just going to take that under. Home teams play a good offense, but a bad defense. Buffalo's defense is bad. They're 91-41 to the under. That tells me this is going to be a run-oriented game. Keep the ball on the ground, just like we talked about that last game. Don't make any stupid mistakes. Don't get in a track meet. Buffalo's trying to string together a series of wins to close out the season after back-to-back spots. Why take the chance? And they're playing tight games. So I think when you look at Buffalo in this spot, you got to think, control the clock, take the time of possession, try to win this game outright against a team that's 1-4 in their last 5 with Eastern Michigan. Can they do it? The line seems trappy to me. Teams who won 5 or less games as a road dog out of their last 33 are hitting at a 60% rate. So Buffalo, as bad as they are on the road, does suggest, hey, maybe that trend's about to move forward in a different direction. But I'm not getting there. I'm just taking the under. I like that fucking huge number to the under. Are you kidding me? 48-19. 48-19? You've gone over 5 times in a row? All you need to do is see a Buffalo team not produce? Hell yeah. And Eastern Michigan is 47-21 is home favorite in their last 68 games. So not covering though. They're 26-41. It's too close a margin for me to mess around with the side. I'll just take the total. Give me the total. Give me 2 NBA games to close the shop here. And you guys know what's up. 7:30 p.m. First game on the calendar for us. As we jump in, let's take a look. Let's take a look at this one. Let me close that one. Let me pop this up. Let me go like this. Yeah. That's how it goes. Bulls and Bucks open at 8.5. There's been no line movement. 71% of the bets and 62% of the cash are on the Bulls. No line movement. The totals moved up a point, 238.5 to 239.5. 61% of the bets and 61% of the cash are on the over, and it's moved a point. We know that there's trouble in paradise, in Giannis land. Nobody wants to play there. We know they brought Dame in to try to lessen the load for Giannis, but it don't matter. They snuck out a 101-100 win as a 3.5-point favorite against Houston. The Bulls just beating up who's in front of them. Now, you want to look at that same Houston game, you can play the ladder game. Yeah, they got smoked against Houston, 143-107, and they were at home. So no excuse. Houston just kicked the shit out of them. But that was a bounce back spot for Houston. If you remember that game or that situation for them, I believe it was the back-to-back losses, if I'm not mistaken. Anyways, it was a bounce back opportunity for them, but it doesn't matter. I don't care if Giannis is playing or not. You know what we're back on. The until further notice play is Vus. I got Vucevic to get the over 1.5 threes. Now, another way to think about playing that one. I don't know. This way I'm playing it, I guess. I guess that's what it comes down to. I like Zach LaVine. Don't mind him getting points. Patrick Williams potentially being out of this thing means LaVine should have a little bit more focused time in there. Let me look at the injury report with you guys here, and I'll give you some trends that jumped in here and gave me the confidence to pull the trigger. What do we got? Brooks Lopez is probable. Bobby Portis is probable. Chris Middleton's out. Lonzo Ball's out. Patrick Williams is out. Okay. It's a big number. But that does favor the team where nobody wants to play. And here's the thing with the margin in this one. We go back to a margin spot. The Bucks are a perfect 15-0 when they got a total over 229 and a line under 9.5. Sometimes people will ask, like, how come we don't share it, early in the morning so we can get the best line? Well, because sometimes it does negate, as we talked about with that Seattle Kraken spot. If they're between the 115s, yeah, they're perfect 0-19, but it's no longer between the 115s. So some of that data doesn't make sense. You gotta see if you like the side. Now, I like a team that nobody wants to play for. Why not? And you got a 15-0. The margin is 16 points a game. So the unders moved up a point to 239.5, and we got a margin of 16 points. If this game gets to 220, it'll be impressive. Maybe consider the alternate. I don't talk about the alternate strategy very much in this, but I don't tease the NBA. I think I told you guys this before. I don't tease the NBA and I don't tease college basketball because you're only getting 4 points. I know it's more than one bucket, but essentially it's one. You're taking one bucket off the number because just the math doesn't work. It doesn't make sense in my head. The math. So I don't tease them. But when you have a wide margin like that, yeah, I would consider taking this thing down. You know what? We can take a look across the board game here too and see. Let's see. I'm suggesting around a 221. Let's see where the books look at showing some vulnerability. I don't know if you guys have rolled this game with me before, but we look for where the concern is. 239 is minus 115. 238 is minus 110. 237.5 is even money. 120 at 235.5. 145. So think about that. You're taking 6.5. My nose is itching like crazy right now. You're taking 6.5 points off the total. You're only dropping it down 45, 50 cents. But if we go all the way down, like the lowest number they'll let you take is 228.5. So you're taking a full 11 points off of this number. They're only giving you an extra $1 for your money. 11 points off the number, you're only getting an extra $1. This game's going to sail under the number. You look for that big drop off, right? So when you start seeing it goes from like $1.10 to $1.20 to $1.30 to $2.60, that little bridge of gap right there is where they're showing concern. That's not there with this game. This is going to be a low scoring affair. I love the under. Love that we got this spot. Nasty Nick gets 6 on his teaser. I get 6 on football. I don't get it in NBA. Don't get it in. I guess I didn't look at DraftKings and FanDuel, but I just haven't done it in so long. I also don't know how much. I don't know. Shocking. Let's go with this next game. Last game on the card. Then we get up out of here. We got this thing in. We got her in. Let's look at the Sixers and the Grizzlies. Everybody's talking about it. 68% of the bets and 63% of the cash are sitting there on the Grizz. And what has the line done? It's moved against them. Fact, plus 1.5. Sixers have flipped to a favorite. Predominantly, I believe, because of the injury news. It wasn't just one, right? I mean, they're going to have, I guess, they're still saying Embiid is doubtful. I heard Embiid's playing today. I heard he's playing. Doesn't matter. I like it even more if he doesn't play. It's like, you guys have heard me say that enough. This is our magic spot. Favorites. Covered the spread 2 or less times in their first 10 games. So they're not covering the spread. They're made a favorite. In a revenge spot are 29-7 against the spread. 29-7. Now, if that's not good enough for you, look at Memphis. In the home dog roll, less than 7.5. When they're playing a team that averages 75% or better from the free throw line, they are 0-7 in those spots. I'm going to take it. Short, sweet, right to the point. Simple for us here. It's a bad team, not covering for a reason. They've been laid down as a favorite. And when you see those scenarios, they are successful to the tune of 29-7. It's an 80.6% win percentage. We're happy to get 65 points, 65%. We'll take almost 81% for the Sixers. And that's it. Closes up shop for us. Puts the bow on the show. It's time that we got to go. Shout out. 6, 8, 9, 50%. 6, 8, 9, 50%. 6, 8, 9, 50%. Trying to figure that one out. Appreciate him rocking here with us. Says, let's go, Mishkov. Betting 1.5 shots, Philly parlay. See you tomorrow if I hit. All right. Well, come back even if you don't. It's all good. Nasty Nate says 7 and 10 are for my football. See, I get 6 for football, and then 10 are sweethearts. And I only get the 10 if it's 3 legs or more, and 3 legs pays me at minus 115. We'll have to check it out. I'll have to connect and look into that a little bit more. Shout out to Googly Eye Rootin' Girl. Shout out to Bo Jackson. Nasty Nate in the house. Justin McKelvey likes Buffalo over 24.5 team total when I bet it. Moved 2 points since. ZC33 says under 54.5 on Bet ESPN and Caesars. I'll see him taking the worst of the number. KB says after 3 road games in the NFL, then home goes under. Little thing to remember. There you go. These are the things that we need to write down. Keep a note on them. And let's go. Stop Geo Engineer. Old E Juggler 23 says windy in Ohio tonight. Googly Eyed Ring Girl says Parker, Navarro, and Ohio money line at plus 177. Let's go, you guys. Born and raised in South Detroit. Ramon Scott, hopefully he gets in there with us on Saturday morning. It's going to be a lot of fun, you guys. I hope you enjoyed the show tonight. But we got a lot of work to do for Saturday. It just negate, when you got a 6 p.m. card on Saturday, you can spend a lot of time getting ready, but it takes damn near 10, 12 hours to look through all the Saturday sports that there are to begin with. And then you add in that this thing pops off super early. Got to be ready to go. Got to be ready to give you guys plays for all of that other good stuff as well. So it's time that I go. I get up out of here. Going to get first strike tonight. Make sure you guys check that out. Around 10 p.m. tonight, we'll have that thing ready to go for you guys. In the meantime, good luck with your bets. Enjoy Hump Day. It's the bridge of the weekend. We're letting be at Thursday. Thursday, we'll have a nice little live stream, dual stream. Get ready to get into the weekend. Short little Friday jaunt to the 3 a.m. UFC stream. It's going to be a busy next couple of days, you guys. Let's make some fucking money. Monday to Friday, 6 p.m. We don't stop. Rain, sleet, or snow. Pregaming is good to go.
Snow, Curtis blow, flow, fuck all you haters. Fuck making big shoes and best simulators. Fuck cashing in, all we wanna do is win. Put the juice in the gin, now it's time to begin. Fuck the books, they can take it on the chin. Surrendering dividends, don't fuck with Ryan Cam. The show starts with capping and ends with them slapping and stacking cash and boatloads. They won't know what happened. Pre-gaming and others, they seem lame. Like Abel meeting Cain, a bullet to the brain. We don't give a fuck like Kiki said. We ain't playing. We ain't game, but we ain't playing.
I'm back and I'm joined with my guy